Jackals TV is back on the air, and today we're looking at the February 8th game between the Jackals and the Rare Rockets. This is the first meeting of these two teams since the early in the season. They met each other in the tiering games back in September, a 3-0 win for the Jackals back then. The Jackals have been struggling as of late in their return to the D Division. They've lost their last 3 games after winning their first game in the return to the D Division, so they'll be looking to get back into winning ways here today. Jackals are missing 4 players today: Chris Weeger, Bruce, Krista Stuhar, and David all out. Troy Bannister has been called to fill in as a spare here tonight. So let's head to the highlights and see how they did. And we start this one with the Rockets on the attack. 91 here coming down the left. He's going to pass that right out front. It gets redirected quickly on net, but Trevor turns it aside. Then we're going to follow this out to the point. But this point shot gets taken, and then Darwin's stick gets caught up in the hole in his skates and hauls him down awkwardly. Luckily for him, he was able to get back up. Rockets keep coming, though. Here's a broken play at center. Then they're going to come in on the right side. Then they're going to come to the middle and pass it back to the right. And then a quick sweeping shot on net slips through Trevor and into the net, and the Rockets are quickly up 1-0. And while Darwin didn't get a penalty on his original interaction with number 67, he is going to get one here, but wholly undeserved. The referee's going to give him what probably is a body checking penalty, but that player fell down all on his own. Maybe his feet locked up with Rob, but either way, it's a power play for the Rare Rockets. And here you see the Jackals doing an excellent job to kill this 4-minute power play, holding the puck for a long time before finally shooting it down the ice. So some good possession there by the Jackals. But power play does continue, and they do get this one good chance, and there's a rebound and then hauled down in front, and then the puck gets shot out. No penalty there, but the puck does get cleared, and the Jackals do kill that power play. The Rockets keep coming, though, and as this player tries to pull the puck around Troy takes him down with a body check. So that's going to be a penalty. But watch that player come back at Troy and slash the stick out of his hand. So the crazy rules of the ASHL, that's actually a power play for the Jackals. 4 minutes for slashing there on the stick, as opposed to 2 for the body check. And on the power play, Aaron's going to get this chance right in front. First, he whiffs on the forehand, and then he gets the backhand and has lots of space there, but the goalie gets a leg across and makes a save. Power play does continue, though. There's Rob and Bob exchanging the puck. Rob's going to rim it back to Bob, and it hits the Zamboni gate right to Bob, and he pushes it over to Aaron, who shovels it towards the net, and it goes in on the blocker side, and a power play goal by the Jackals after that strange slashing the stick 4-minute penalty by the Rare Rockets, and we now have a 1-1 tie. And the Jackals are going to take advantage of this swing in momentum. Here you see the deep going back and forth, Bob over to Daryl, and he's going to push that up to Rob, who bumps it back to Darwin, who's going to go hard down the left side and then drop it to Chris Marshall, who rips it high on the glove side, and it goes in top corner. And this game has taken a quick reversal of fortune. Jackals were down 1-0. Now they're quickly back up 2-1 in this game. So now we move to the second period. Here comes Aaron down the right side, and he's going to saucer this across to Rob, who directs it towards the net. Now, great save by the goalie. And then he gets across to thwart a rebound attempt by Aaron on the short side. Rockets finally going down to the other end and getting a chance. There's a nice little shot through traffic. A good save by Trevor. Bob swats the rebound away. And then a little bit later, with the puck still in the Jackal zone, watch from the net. Troy's going to get tangled up with one of the Rare Rockets players. He's having a real saucy game out here today. And he's going to continue to go back and forth with that player. They're both going to end up with roughing penalties, so it's going to remain 5-on-5. But not for long, as we see this puck by Gary get pushed towards the corner, and as he's going to retrieve it, he gets clipped with a high stick, and you can see Trevor heading off to the bench for the extra attacker, and luckily for him, he was right about there being a power play coming up, because the Rockets player did slide that into the empty net. So, power play underway. There's a big shot from the point by Daryl. It looks like maybe it was deflected or it hit the goalie and went out of play. Power play continues. Gary has the puck along the wall. He's going to find Rob, who crept back into a soft spot. That puck gets deflected and lands into the pads of the goaltender. It was there to be swept home, but it doesn't happen. Power play still continues. A give and go between Rob and Bob. Gets a shot off low. Glove side gets directed to the corner. So there's a little bit of time left in this power play still. So a good one by the Jackals. They had lots of chances. Here's a play by Chris Marshall to walk around, put it up high, goes off the shoulder and over the net of the Rare Rockets player. As you can see, there's still a couple seconds left in this power play. And here's one more rush, pushing it up to Darwin, who's going to pull it around that player. Go hard in on the left side. He sees players coming, rips it across to Rob, who one times it past the goalie. So after multiple scoring attempts by the Jackals, they finally capitalize, and a power play goal sends this game to 3-1. The momentum continues. Here we see Aaron in a puck battle along the wall. That Rare Rockets player comes in to help and pulls the puck out, but then Jer knocks it off his stick and sends it the other way for a 2-on-1. He's got Lloyd going hard to the net, dishes it across, and Lloyd does an excellent job to find that space up above the pad, below the blocker. That's a goal scorer's goal right there, and Lloyd is on the board and makes this a 4-1 game. Off the ensuing faceoff, watch the referee on the far side near the scorekeeper's clock. This puck's going to come up his side. He's going to take a nasty spill as the puck and that player's stick go into his feet. He goes down hard. The other referee blows a whistle immediately. He was okay and was able to continue the game, thankfully. So Rockets keep coming here, trying to create an odd man rush. There's a good shot towards the net, but there was a hook on that play, so it's going to be a opportunity on the power play for them to try and get back in this, but instead Chris Marshall's going to get that puck, go hard down the left side. He's got some space up high there, but save, and then the rebound popped out front on the other side of the net. He was unable to put it home. So they do kill the penalty, the Jackals, and then they're going to pick this puck up deep in their own end. That's Gary, and he's going to come up the wall. The camera loses track of him briefly, but he's going to come back on screen, and as he goes to the corner, he sees a lackadaisical stance by the goaltender, so he throws it towards the net, and it rattles around between the legs and eventually gets kicked back across the line by the goaltender. And now it is a 5-1 lead for the Jackals, with Trevor picking up the assist there by dishing that puck off to Gary down deep in his own zone. Jackals keep coming as the period's about to end. They're looking for that 6th one. There's Jared. He's going to cut to the middle, gets around that defender, has space up high, but launches it up over the crossbar, and it stays 5-1 as we head to the third. More of the same here in the third as Bob launches that puck across the ice, finds Darryl going up the left side. He's going to cut towards the middle. Great shooting spot, but it gets deflected up in the air over the goalie and then bounces off the crossbar down in the crease before getting swept away by the Rockets player. Rockets still in trouble deep in their own zone. They try to chop that puck up front, and Chris Marshall lands on the goalie's head, and Darryl comes in to deposit it into the net, but you see the referee quickly coming in and waving that off, so no goal for goaltender interference. So here's a turned over puck at center. Rockets coming in. They're going to pass that across to that player who gets one shot looking for the rebound. Trevor makes a save and it bounces out, and the Jackals do clear it. Here's another terrific save by Trevor. He's going to get that leg out there on that player who was all alone in the red pants in front, who directed it towards the far side, but Trevor makes a really nice save. Here's Darryl the other way with a nice backhand move and then takes a shot on the backhand, but he ends up missing the net. Here's a 2-on-0. Aaron looking for Gary, and you'll notice Gary flipped his hand over from left-handed to right-handed, and then when Aaron made the pass, it actually goes to his left-hand side. If he'd left his stick the right way, I think that actually would have been a goal. But speaking of goals, there's one by the Rare Rockets as they go wide to the right and find some space on the short side above Trevor's glove, so it's now a 5-2 game. Off a face-off, deep in their own zone, there's Darwin who picks up a puck off the face-off and takes it back the other way, pushes it in front, and Chris Marshall tries to pull it around the goaltender, but he loses control of it and it rolls harmlessly to the corner. Full credit to the Rockets, though. They're not going to give up on this one. There's a puck turned over at the line, and this player is coming down the right side. Looks like a harmless shot, but somehow that finds space between Trevor. You can see Trevor trying to figure out where it went, having discussions with Troy in front. He goes in to make it 5-3, but it doesn't matter. That is the final score of this game. So the Jackals are happy to get back on the winning side of the ledger. Let's have a look at stats for the game. Rob leading the way with a goal and 2 assists. Gary and Darwin both with 2 points each on this game as well. So let's have a look and see what that does to the overall stats. And you see with that 3-point night, Rob has retaken the lead at the top of the scoring table now with 7 goals and 12 assists for 19 points. The Jackals' next game will be against the Blades, a team they just lost to 3 games ago, a 4-3 loss. So they'll be looking for revenge, and we'll see you there.